Good evening. Welcome to Investigator News, and I'm your host, Ellie. And we have our other host, William, on the phone. And I'm going to start off with today is National Dog Day. Uh, I don't know if many of you knew that. It's kind of late in the evening, but make sure your dog gets the favorite milk bone. Like William's dog gets his favorite gravy or her favorite gravy. I gave mine a couple long little pepperonis. Um, but so treat your dog because it's National Dog Day. Um, with that, let me show you this. And in celebration, National
August
Dog Day.
26th, National Dog Day, a day to celebrate our loyal companions, to recognize their unwavering love, and to honor the countless roles they play in our lives. But where did this special day come from? National Dog Day was founded in 2004 by Colleen Page, a pet and family lifestyle expert, animal behaviorist, and passionate advocate for animal welfare. Colleen's inspiration? The day she adopted her first dog, Sheltie, from a local shelter when she was just 10 years old. Since its inception, National Dog Day has grown into an international celebration. It's a day dedicated not just to our furry friends at home, but to all dogs. Those in shelters, those serving in the military, and those saving lives as service dogs.
National Dog Day today. It is National Dog Day. Today is National Dog Day in honor of National Dog Day. National Dog Day.
Supported by celebrities, major organizations, and even the U.S. military. This day isn't just about celebration, it's about action. National Dog Day encourages adoption, fights against breed discrimination, and shines a light on the millions of dogs that need rescuing every year. Whether you're welcoming a new member into your family or simply giving your dog an extra hug today, remember, every action counts. As we celebrate 20 years of National Dog Day in 2024, let's continue to make a difference, one dog at a time. National Dog Day, because every dog deserves to be celebrated.
William, did you know it was National Dog Day? I only seen it because it was on my calendar. And I was
One
like,
at a time? That seems like that would take a while. Why not all at once?
you would think at what 2004 we would have been knew what day it was. I don't even think I celebrated last year. I don't know if Karen knows, but I don't think I did National Dog Day last year. But yeah, National Dog Day. Huh. Okay. So it's a big thing. Latest earthquakes, folks. I've had four of them here. They're ranging between 2.1 and 2.9. And I've had four of them within about 40 to 80 miles from here over the last since Saturday night. Um, and then Walmart recalls apple juice sold in 25 states due to arsenic concerns, William. Now, who put the arsenic in the apple juice? Somebody didn't like it. Um, so this is, let's see, let me see. I got to Refresco didn't immediately respond to comment, but that they, according to Walmart, the health and safety of their customers. Now, the 25 states is Alabama, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Massachusetts, Maryland, Maine, Michigan, Mississippi, North Carolina, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, Vermont, and West Virginia. So if you bought um, apple juice and if it was, this announcement was August 15th, and they said it's great value brand apple juice. So it's also in Puerto Rico and the District of Columbia. So if you got great value of apple juice, almost said orange juice, it's could have arsenic in it. So please check it. William, I'm going to kind of go into, we've got this rare but deadly mosquito-borne virus. It's concerning many towns across our country right now. And on August 23rd and 24th, they say be very cautious. You're going to have to wear the sprays. And the I think there's like 12 different states, 10 to 12 states that has already got encephalitis is what it is. Now, weirdly enough, the Weather Channel came out with a um, the colors attract mosquitoes. So anything you can do to um, not get the mosquitoes. Now I've had friends that they just get ate up when they're over, and then here I'm barely bit, but they're just covered in them. So there's something they got on that's attracted the mosquitoes. So let me get this going here.
So mosquitoes are attracted to carbon dioxide, your breath.
Okay, so here we go. Red and black. Red and black. Don't wear it. No black at night. So thugs don't. No black hoodies. You're going to get attacked by mosquitoes.
Yeah, that's infrared. It shows off your body heat.
Oh yeah. Uh, all right. But they've like I said, this is encephalitis that they're worried about, and this is serious. So um, try not to wear red and black. They say perfumes, some types of bath oils. Um, so when you're out at night, be sure to get the coverage on the kiddos because now we have quite a few states and quite a few cities across America with encephalitis. Uh, okay, William.
Has a special way to deal with mosquitoes. The thing that works universally is DEET. It's just mosquito spray.
Yeah.
It sucks, but it works.
Now, William, the first thing I want to run to with this world news is it was very startling to me. And it's a report the U.S. Navy to sideline 17 ships for lack of manpower. There are not enough merchant marines for the U.S. Navy to fully man 17 vessels, reported causing official to plan to take them out of regular operations. This is a problem, of course, um, because we are looking at wars all over the world, and every ship counts, they say. Um, and this is Rear Admiral Mark Montgomery. He's a senior director of Center in Cyber on Technology and the Foundation for Defense. And he is very concerned because now, William, you said it was the Navy. So I'll go ahead and let you go on that one.
So it's the merchant marines portion of the Navy. There's civilians that man replenishment ships. And they're manpower intensive. And with all these wars throughout the world, like at the Suez Canal and near the Baltic, there's concerns, and seafarers don't want to be on the ocean. You know, the Philippines just issued a warning to all seafarers to not go into the Red Sea. 2 days ago, a trying to think, a Greek flagged oil tanker was hit by the Houthis, and the crew had to abandon ship, and the ship burned until it went down. I think it's gone down, but it burned. So, yeah, the sea's not a safe place if you add that with piracy. And they hire a lot of these mariners from countries that have very low wages, say like the Philippines or like Thailand, and they can find jobs doing other things that's less dangerous and still pays better money.
Mm-hmm. Now, the other thing was what came out, and that, see, this is something I mentioned on the budget that they don't always disclose everything that goes into our budgets. Well, not only our economic woes, but um, those going back to work or job openings. And they said they were off by 1 million, William. So the Democrats have been covering 1 million jobs, saying that they created over 1 million jobs and over 1 million were not created. Um, I think it was just to keep the public from freaking out. But I think we all see it because when we had so many of our kids, grandkids, trying to get a job, they just can't find them. Like my granddaughter, she goes and they'll do the training part, and then they say, okay, well, when we need workers, we'll call you back. But she's just not getting the callbacks, but they're training her. And they said, well, we just don't have the openings. But it says, they're hiring.
The federal government pays employers to train people, doesn't pay them to hire them.
Now, this one here, William, I didn't know whether to laugh or say, oh, it's about time. But Bernie Sanders, he claims we have a crisis at the border. He says it's the fentanyl that's coming into his state and other states, the Democrats, is so thick, and that it's creating a pandemic from drugs of the people that they call the walking dead. And he said, that he was okay with DACA or DACA, but he wasn't quite happy enough to be able to use it again. But he said even if they did DACA, he might be willing to vote for it because something has got to be done. The border has got to be fixed. Wow. And that's Bernie Sanders coming out with that yesterday. Karen, I was blown away by that one.
He wants them to be citizens so they can vote because they come from communist countries.
Yeah, but he wants a type of control on it now.
Oh, yeah, he wants control afterwards, after the vote.
Yeah, that's it. Can't do nothing much right now besides the budget. And I'm surprised they're not talking about it, William, because it's a big thing in August, September, going into October of the budget, because they always stall it out and they won't vote on it. Now, the other one is, now this is kind of surprising as well as what I heard with Bernie Sanders is Harris and Biden push for electric vehicles going into after the election. And automakers, Ford and GM, and they said even Asian manufacturers like Toyota, Datsun, and Mercedes, is all saying that there is not enough sustainable energy to have electric cars, and they refuse to make them now. So they're telling them, no, we're going to go back and we're going to start doing gas cars. We do not have the sustainability for electric cars to go forward next year. So, wow. And then Netanyahu, I know you got a lot of stuff on Israel. I'll start with Netanyahu vows more surprising blows after Israel forwarded thousands of Hezbollah rockets. And he says this is not the end. And William, you were telling me there's just not a solution to get a ceasefire.
So they want to talk, right? But nobody wants to put pressure on the other guy to bring him to the table. You know, when the United States wanted North Vietnam to come to the table, we took B-52s to North Korea, and they came to the table. And then we had a temporary halt over Christmas, and they left the table. And then we started the B-52s again, and they came back to the table. And finally, they came to a ceasefire. So if you want somebody who only thinks in horror as a weapon, okay, that means somebody who would attack their neighbor. There's only one thing they respect, and that's power.
Mm-hmm.
Lethal power. If Israel wants to get back their hostages, it's lethal power. That's all there is to it.
And you know, William, nobody wants the Palestinians. Saudi don't want them. Nobody wants them. And why? Because it goes way back to like early 70s, 80s. For those that you don't know, is whenever anybody took in the Palestinians, it ended up being the PLO, and they always started problems and or wars or civil wars. And that is why the Middle East won't take them. Because I had someone email me saying, well, why can't they go here? Why can't they go to Jordan? Why can't they go to Egypt? Because they don't want them. They don't want terrorists. There's okay people in Gaza. I'm not saying all of them are bad. And those are ones that Israel is willing to help. But when you got terrorists that are holding innocent people hostage and threatening to blow them up, we have to do something, or Israel has to do something. Go ahead, William.
Yeah, well, Israel can't put that kind of pressure right now on Gaza because that's hated so much in the world right now, and the administration's against it. So they're playing kind of a waiting game. And there's nothing really they can do if they want to maintain United States support. And unfortunately, AOC and their folks have a lot of pull. And even people up in Michigan and stuff are wanting to leave the Democratic Party because they're not supporting the Palestinians enough. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
Now, there's been a big data breach in Israel of government papers that have ended up on the internet. And apparently they want to kind of shut the internet down now because, you know, it doesn't look good. But here's the thing states need to understand. Nothing on the internet is safe.
Mm-hmm.
If you want things to be safe, you make it in paper and you keep it in vaults.
Mm-hmm. Well, we talked about this before the show. Is this the Telegram arrest?
Right.
Okay.
Right. And this is a lot of what's going on in Europe. Europe's going along with it too because, well, that's WEF. And so this is all a big push to get rid of free speech so that the WF can move its stuff forward. Israel can hide its data breaches, so Ukraine can hide its sins. You get the idea.
Mm-hmm. And you know, we talked about this the other night, William, where, you know, I was saying with the vote that everyone around the world hacks elections. Or what about the bank hackers? I've already had a few friends that their bank accounts got hacked through credit cards. Their credit cards have been hacked. Nothing is safe. And if it's on the internet and you go online, you have to expect to be hacked. Now I've got a pretty good security program, and it tells me, oh hey, you're being watched, and I'm like, hey, who wants to watch Ellie in her jammies in the morning with black eyes? I'm like, power to you if you want to watch me that early in the morning. But then it says I'm being, I've been my computer been hacked, so I run the scans, and it says everything's fine. And but we there is look at even the places that will protect you from getting your money hacked, your own economic future hacked. And you got to pay through the nose, but are we all going to end up having a internet insurance? Here, this is the one, because when you brought this up, William, first thing I thought of is they're going to come up with internet insurance that you're going to have to get, so your um, financial and banking system doesn't get hacked. And if so, then you've got an insurance for it. I used to think, rental insurance would be great, and then they started it, and it was like, wait a minute, that's a lot for rental insurance. But I never thought I would see rental insurance. But now, some places you rent from will require it, and so I can see. What do you think, William? Do you think we'll have an internet financial or banking insurance in the future?
Well, um, insurance is a racket, right?
Mm-hmm.
And rackets are built on other rackets. Of course. Of course we will.
Of course we will. There's an insurance for everything. How I pick my insurance companies is after a hurricane, when everybody's got their signs up saying they're insurance companies, and they go back a week later and they show the same houses, and they still got them signs up with the insurance companies' names on. I'm like, I ain't picking them. It's been a week, and these people are like dying for their insurance company to get a hold of them. No, I ain't picking that one. I ain't gonna tell you who, but there's one in particular that always seems to be in the midst of it. So, um,
Yeah, just so everybody knows, the internet functions on the owner system. If you're tech savvy enough, there's nothing that can keep you out.
mhm. That's right. That's right. And there's so many. Look at all the hackers that were actually hired by the government.
To be counter hackers, yeah, of course.
That's it. So, now Russia, you said towns taken by Ukraine, and I think they're just like I've been telling everybody, they're just fed up, William, and they go town to town and they're just sweeping through them. And I think that when they leave their soldiers behind, I think Russia is just fed up and they're just going to go back and blow up the towns. Instead of doing
So,
what Israel's doing, because look at what Israel has done, William. They went through, and now they got to go back because the PLO is right back in those areas, recouping and resetting themselves up. And I think that's exactly what Ukraine is doing. I think that's a military strategic plan that they put in.
so Ukraine has a couple problems. One is it made a incursion into Russia, which was an aggressor, so they have the right, okay, but there's restrictions on the missiles the Ukrainians can use in Russia that are supplied by the United States and the Europeans because, well, they just don't want to go to war with Russia. And in war, if you have a bigger force, you can get involved in what's called retribution. So let's say Ukraine goes into Russia and wipes out 30 towns, right? And Russia's now willing, because they've got the young and the infirm out of those, and women out of those towns, to level their own towns. Okay, I want you to understand that. Russia's willing at this point to level their own towns to wipe out the Ukrainians. Well, once they get done wiping out those towns and the Ukrainians, they're going to take a number of towns in Ukraine. Probably far more than they had to wipe out in Russia, because the Russian people are going to demand it.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, that was one of the biggest concerns in the beginning of this war, was when Russia first started firing upon Ukraine. They were just taking out complete towns, small towns, where they were the Azov battalion was. And I thought, wow, you know, there's just nothing left. We're the people. And, you know, they will get into an apartment complex that's been blown up, and they'll hide there and wait for Russians to come through on the ground. And not only that, they were laying land mines, I believe, you know, the small mines that uh, Russians and the Ukrainians were actually starting to pick up. And they were warning them, no, 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 you can't pick those up, because I guess they looked attractive. William, do you remember back then? It was the very beginning of the war. And they would decimate the whole town, and then they would lay the landmines. And it was both sides that did this. And so what it was is the Azov battalion would hide up in these buildings that had been blown up, and if they picked them up or they walked by them, then they would even shoot the mines to blow them up and just blow innocent civilians up. And you get this, they didn't care if it was a Ukrainian or Russian; they just blew people up. I mean, it was one of the biggest things I threw a fit over on this.
So when people have been dehumanized to a certain point, they'll gain what's called bloodlust. Mm-hmm. And they don't care who it is. Just saying, that's what war does.
And I think that's what it's done to, oh boy, I mean, yeah. I think that's what's going on up in Israel and the Palestinians, is the Palestinians don't no longer care for the Palestinian people, and they just hold them. Well, for a while they were taking these missile launchers in trucks, and they would put them in like residential areas. Well, for a while, these Palestinians were taking them out of their trucks and beating them up and getting the trucks out of there, to where it wouldn't blow up their houses or these innocent people. You know, you know, that's something that this Palestinians, they just use their own people um, as hostages, or they'll blow them up and blame Israel for it.
Palestinians see it as a weakness on the West that they won't use their own population, because the West won't attack civilians in mass. Palestinian fighters believe it's a weakness in the character of the West, because, you know, we have a heart. We believe in forgiveness. We believe in, you know, what was it? The person on the road that somebody helped, that was, you get the idea.
Yeah.
Because we help people that are down. We root for the little guy. We're weak in the heart compared to the Middle East as far as they're concerned.
Oh yeah, they think we're soft.
Well, they come from a heritage of highway robbers, and we come from a heritage of farmers. Farmers may need help from their neighbor, right? something always happens. You need somebody to watch something while you have to go someplace. There's always some family this or that need. So farmers help each other out. That's not the case with highway robbers. They just don't care.
I just to throw this in, and because I had it written off the side before I forget, Fashi is hospitalized after testing positive for the West Nile virus. Hmm. Maybe
Did
he
he
caught one
inject
of his own
himself?
bugs.
Did he inject himself,
I don't know. I think his own bug bit him.
or did he just inject the test thing so that he could take a vacation?
I don't know. He could be with Biden. I don't know.
They could be on vacation together.
Or hiding, figure out a way to hide him after the next election, because I don't think anybody's going to actually believe anything on him now. Um, uh, now,
Speaking of diseases, Brazil recorded its monkeypox yesterday. As rescinded that, turns out to be chickenpox. Yep, somebody's got shingles from, a degenerated immune system because of who knows what. And apparently the Philippines had the same problem. So looks like monkeypox is just going to be chickenpox, but they'll report it as monkeypox until they know the quote strain, which is
maybe it's just overblown chicken pox. It grew
well,
and,
it's just
and
the
grew
World Health
legs.
Organization signed treaties with everybody that they would take control of everybody's country, like Portugal just gave all their control over their government to the World Health Organization yesterday.
Now you were talking about speaking of the world. No, it was a World Economic Forum. I'm sorry, with the migrants. The California Newsom. God, he's so stupid, William. He wants to give the migrants in California $30,000 grants to get houses with, after they just foreclosed on thousands of houses. Are they going to let the migrants buy them? But
Let's
these
give
homes,
$1,000
they're not
$1,000
30,000 isn't even going to touch these cheap homes of $200,000, $300,000 in California. The migrants are in a world of hurt if they think 30,000 is going to get them something in California. But that's his mindset. That's what he's trying to pass right now.
Well, Kamala Harris has said she wants to give everybody $32,000 so they can get a house. The thing is that people can't. They get into a house, they still can't afford them.
No, it's like that subprime loan, William. A lot of people.
It's the exact same thing. It's just on the other end.
Because I almost got stuck with it because when I got this house and I found out I was under that subprime loan, and luckily I had a banker that said, you know what, in so many years you go find other financing. Don't wait, because if you wait, your mortgage is going to triple. And so from that day forward, I started looking for another way to be able to get my house. And I did, and it cut my payments right in half, and I escaped the subprime loan. But they wanted to tell me, oh, you qualify for a $200,000 home. Well, no, I can't quite afford that. I could do maybe 120, 130. I can't afford a $200,000 home. Oh, but think of how nice it would be. And I was like, no, 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 I'm not getting into something I can't afford. And then if it doubles or triples the payment, I'll lose my house. But they didn't care. They suckered everybody into it.
Gavin has a problem in California. He's got so many undocumented, and so as long as the government's going to give subprimes to citizens, he wants to give it to the undocumented as well, because maybe, they're not going to be able to get a house in California, but they could get a house in Nevada.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's only for California, though. It's for Newsom. I don't know what Harris is going to do.
It'll help Newsom's problem out. It'll make it rest for the rest of us.
Yeah, but wow, the prices, William, I just can't. I can't even. You know, in '96, we couldn't even find a house under 120,000 livable. Anything under 100,000, you were like, this is a dump. Um, I can't see them even being able to use it. It's almost like a wasted promise because you know you can give it to them, but they're thinking, "Oh, good, we can go buy a house for 30,000." No, um, it's not going to happen, and then they're going to feel jilted. They're going to feel really bad jilted when they,
Yeah, but they'll be out of California.
yeah,
That's Gavin's point.
yeah. Now, yeah,
Because
the World Economic Forum with the migrants. You mentioned something earlier about it.
the World Economic Forum is using migrants as a way to wage war against nation states. They hate nation states. They want to control the entire world. You can't control the entire world if they got their own governments. Gee, let's go and destroy all the governments. How are we going to do it? Let's get foreign fighters. Let's say Syrians, like in
The UN.
like Germany, where they just had a Syrian migrant went around slicing people as long as he could until they put him down. Why? He told them why. Because he was ISIS.
Hmm.
Oh, and he didn't get citizenship, and he didn't meet his deportation date, and he's frustrated, and, well, you get the whole idea.
Yeah, and part of the World Economic Forum is Soros. It's Klaus Schwab. Um, and when we have these economic forum conferences where all the leaders show up, you know, they want you to be a big old part of this. Why? To you know, it was about climate change a couple of years ago,
It's
and
still about climate
it was
change.
like in 2018, we're all going to die in 8 years, is what we were being told by Biden and the squad and Harris and everybody that would listen to them. Bernie Sanders, we're all going to die from 2018. So we're just about at the end of the line. But wow, we haven't heard
So
nothing about that.
every revolution starts with, they start laying the groundwork rhetorically. And then once they have all that groundwork, they have everybody's minds modified, then comes the violent part of the revolution, the operational part of the revolution. Well, we're there. And, you know, the WEF says that there's going to be major changes that are going to be sudden and shocking here in the near future. And if you have somebody talking about socialism, if you have somebody talking about ESG, if you have people talking about climate, those are neo-socialists.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Congress calls them.
Yeah.
Neo-socialists. Okay,
And
what is a neo-socialist?
and
It's
the
a
thing with
communist.
this Harris is her father was a Marxist, raised her a Marxist.
Of course, she's a communist, straight up. So is Waltz. So is the WEF.
Mm-hmm.
There's people in Israel that ascribe to a special greater Judaism that are the same way. There's people in Rome that want to be the new, go back to the old Rome. The Persians, all these folks we're seeing acting up right now, acting up against the order that had been built up after World War II. They all want globalism. They want to be the one world leader, and they're willing to roll the dice. What is there, 190 different nations in the world? And somehow they think they're going to come out on top. So they're going to play that roulette, World War III roulette, hoping it 1 out of 190 chance they'll come out on top.
Mm-hmm.
So you want the world to go up in flames on a 1 in 190 chance? Jesus. Sorry.
Now the other day we heard um, RFK Jr.'s speech, and there was many parts to it. And one that really stuck out with me was him with, and I talked about this the other night, of um, um, sicknesses and diseases. But another thing they were talking about was him being a part of Trump's program, but not only for that, but um, oh goodness, I got to move my thing up.
Look
Um,
at your note.
yeah,
We
creating
can
a
always
new
look back.
type of government with Trump. Now I know today it came out that family members are pissed off, but what they don't realize, and when I heard that, oh, JFK would be turning in his grave because he's becoming a Republican. Well, that's what they were doing anyway. Well, how come the family members didn't know? And so I reached out to Avita King and asked her about this, and I'm waiting on a response. But um, he who cares, and the thing is they're saying, oh, women are going to vote for Harris and the men are going to vote for Trump. When has any voters, folks, went and looked at, oh, I'm going to vote for a woman instead of this guy over here? It's never been like that. We've always looked at our candidates equally, because we they have different stances on how they want to run our government for us or our cities or
It's like
states.
if you vote for Harris, you'll be voting for abortion. Do you want abortion more than you care about the government? Well,
That's right.
that may be one argument, but look at RFK's argument. Do you want to have abortion, a government, or cancer? Right? He's saying you're going to get cancer if we don't get control of this,
Mm-hmm.
making people sick.
Yeah.
Well, that's a whole different argument, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's still engaging in the Democratic argument. Republicans will give him some power someplace so he can further that and
Mm-hmm.
help at least one Democratic issue if they can't get any other issue taken care of. It is a form of power sharing.
Mm-hmm. It is, and that we should look at this as the crossover that some of the independents maybe are now, and even the Green Party uh, is now looking at the Republican Party to cross over, or even with the Democrats. Now, one of the things the Democrats are requiring for the independents and the Green Party is they have to either be Democrat or Republican. Now, who are they to make that decision? They're neither. And then the Green Party and the Independent Party, we got is it Tulsi Gifford? Am I wrong? The independent lady.
She just
She just endorsed Trump.
endorsed, yeah, she just endorsed Trump.
And so,
Yeah.
we should be willing to shake hands with the other side. But when the other side goes too far, they should be able to take the criticism of those that say, no, this isn't a really good idea. I thought Congress and Senate were supposed to be working together to push a really good country forward. And now
Well,
now it's like, um, we hate you on the other side, and we're going to do everything to take you out and your candidates out, and anything that we can do to crumble your party. That's shouldn't be like that. That's
no,
communist. I'm sorry,
that's
I'm
it.
I'm on a rant.
You're right. I'm with
So,
you.
um, but now back to JFK Jr. When he announced this, they immediately took his Secret Service. Now, when Ross Perot, they kept his Secret Service with him because I had to go look this up until the election. But no, the Democrats pulled JFK Jr.'s Secret Service. Did they want him to be killed? To me, that was the
So
first thing I said. Do they want him dead or what? Why would they? That is just so wrong.
He came to our side as far as Republican MAGA groups, right?
Hmm.
Let's say that we're MAGA. Well, the Democratic side is saying MAGA is a infection that needs to be eradicated.
Yeah. And I mean, it's I listened to Dan Bongino before in the hearing the other day, and he said, Secret Service used to not be political. And they just protected whoever the presidents, past presidents, vice presidents, their wives, their families. It didn't make a difference what political party it was. And he worked under Bush and the Clintons. He didn't like the Clintons. He didn't like Hillary, but he protected her. It didn't matter. But he said
In
for
the
some
military,
reason, when it moved into the Obama phase, it started getting very political. And now it's these Secret Service got to choose sides, but they've got them all in place. You know, now I understand why Trump had Navy SEALs. Am I right? No, the Marines.
yeah, well, he used Blackwater and retired Navy SEALs that worked for Blackwater.
Okay, see, so that's who he picked, as well as Secret Service. But when is it going to be that we're going to have presidents that one party says, I don't like you, so you're not getting Secret Service? This is we are starting to live in a dangerous world where not only Secret Service, the FBI, the CIA, the DEA, the Homeland Security, all of it is politically motivated at this point.
Yep.
And it's time to I don't know. I say it's time to bring us back to where it was. Nobody was. It's not your political party and not my political party, but we need people to run the government together. I don't. I think those days are gone.
Politics used to sit with the president and with Congress. It had no place in the courts. It had no place in the military. It had no place in intelligence.
And okay, there was something else here that I had. Um,
So we had a report from Japan. China is upset over Japan's continued assertion that the Caicos Islands are in fact Japan's. And China's saying, well, historically the Caicos Islands were under the Chinese rule. So here's my argument. Okay. China, during World War II, the best you could build was a sampan. The owner of the Caicos Islands became the United States. Shut up. We handed it back to Japan to rule and handle, take care of. That's part of the world order that was ratified in the UN. Either get on with it or whatever. Next, we gave the Philippines back to the Philippines. Remember, Japan had control of it as well. Well, we conquered the Philippines. We gave them back all of those islands. We gave the islands of Brunei back to Brunei, Indonesia back to Indonesia. You get the idea. Singapore back to Singapore. In fact, we gave China back to China. So, shut up. Now, if you go and dredge up a piece of shit off the ocean floor and build yourself an aircraft carrier that can't move, fine. But don't expect it to be land. It's just an aircraft carrier that won't move. Shut up.
The other thing was A Russian spy base is reportedly housed in an army base located in the Mount Coron. This is in, I think, Nicaragua. Yeah. Um, and the military intelligence has found them out. And they're now asking Nicaragua why they would let Russia and the Russian spies be able to operate against the United States. Um, Russia claimed that the base, um, uh, they've been doing this for several years. They said even back almost to the very beginning of the Obama administration. And they said they do have security at the base. And basically, four Russian officers who were the only ones who understood the spy equipment, they pointed out that there was an antenna installation and that they just to the people that were questioning them, William, they were just saying it was like a new news thing that was coming out. I think the people were smarter than that because now um, they have such a giant satellite dish along with Russian made equipment on one of the bases that surrounds all the buildings. So it was very noticeable. So when the U.S. got in there and they started looking into it, Nicaragua was going, "No, we don't know nothing. We thought it was just a satellite dish. We didn't
So
know."
Sandinistas and or David, is it David? No, something Ortega, have been battling for communism in Nicaragua since the Carter administration.
Yeah, and they another thing they said is, we've um, they have bases all over across the country that where they listen to other countries, but this is above and beyond. But they really didn't know about that they were jumped on board with them on their bases. Yeah, they knew it. They knew it. Russia's
Nicaragua
smart.
close to Panama.
Yeah, so
Nicaragua close to
that's how
Panama.
close.
A choke point.
Yeah, and that's how close. And if you guys remember, we got China and Russia down in the Gulf around South America, and if you don't think they don't have spies there with listening devices, um, you guys, you got to realize if we're finding these spy bases and military bases, China and Russia's doing the same thing with South America and Panama.
Well, that's the reason for Cuba in the first place.
Yeah. And then I think you have something on the B-21 Raiden.
Raider, yeah.
Raider.
Well, let's
Okay.
finish Japan. So China's made incursions into Japanese airspace near Hiroshima or Nagasaki. I can't remember exactly which one. It doesn't matter. The point is they're saying, hey, we want the Caicos Islands back or we're going to go nuclear.
Mm-hmm.
That's the import. Now, what were we going to talk about, Ellie?
The B-21 Raider?
Yeah, so the B-21 Raider is going in, from what I've been able to find out, is going into full production now. So, yeah, we'll probably be able to find out that they're doing their final shakedowns and finding out if it's going to be 100% functional within about 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And what else was I going to talk about?
We got enough probably for one more.
Yeah, I was listening to the commander of the Eisenhower that was just left the Red Sea. So they fired like 50, 60 missiles off from the airplanes. And sometimes the Air Force helped them in attacking or the Houthis. But listen to this, they had 100 180,000 traps. That means landing and hooking up to the wire in the 8 months they were down there. That's a lot of work. They were busy, trying to keep those sea lanes open. Now, the administration has just gone to the point of protecting our own ships. They haven't gone to the point of protecting every ship that transits. But the commander says he can see no other way forward into the future that's not going to happen. They're going to have to bring frigates in and start protecting all the traffic transiting through the Suez. All right.
Lastly, I almost forgot. A lot of questioning about Tim Walz and his connections with China. A lot of this is being investigated by Schweitzer. And I'm going to look into it a little bit more, see what he has, because Schweitzer is one of my best source. I got a lot of info on the Clintons and Bush family from him.
Waltz is big on communist China.
Quite a few times he's been doing business.
According to Schweitzer.
Now, what I was hearing is he even might have had a connection with the Podesta brothers that were, since he was over there, that the Podesta brothers were actually meeting with him. The Podesta brothers, boy, were Hillary Clinton's. They hit all of her
pizza shop.
Yeah. So.
Moving on.
Okay, William, I'm going to call this a night, and I only wanted to do an hour-long show, and we'll be back on Wednesday with the World War III report. And I'm feeling better. I just got to go slow with this. And I was hoping to maybe do a show earlier tonight, but I had technical kid difficulties with a bad pizza. We got a pizza tonight that was stuck to the box and cold. I mean, I've never got a pizza like that from a pizza place. But yeah, so I had to fix it quick. Kids were hungry. All right. So, and like I said, it's National Dog Day. So treat your Fidos and your babies with something special tonight.
Ellie, one more thing.
Okay.
The anniversary of our pullout from Afghanistan. We know about our Gold Star families that lost their family members, the 13. What we haven't heard from the news is the 45 others that were terribly wounded, lost limbs and whatnot. We need to keep them in our hearts as well.
Yeah, okay. And those that are still stuck there, And Kamala Harris needs to address it. She was a big part of that. Okay, so with that, I thank you all for watching. Please hit the thumbs up, the like button, and the bell so you can be notified when we're on. We will see everyone Wednesday for the World War III report. Thank you, William. I'm having fun with you and being back.
All right.
So
I enjoyed being here.
So, all right, folks, we will see you then. And have a wonderful Monday and Tuesday. And we will be back on Wednesday. So take care.